Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. ChatGPT said, "Finally, Janelle and Meri drag Kody into court, demand their property back in explosive legal showdown that shocks Sister Wives Nation. After years of tension, betrayal, and a slow burn of emotional neglect, the moment Sister Wives fans have been waiting for has finally arrived. Janelle Brown and Meri Brown are done playing nice. In a long overdue and jaw-dropping turn of events, the former Sister Wives have officially dragged Kody Brown into court, determined to reclaim what they say is rightfully theirs, their shares of the Kody Pass property, and any marital assets they claim Kody and Robyn have been hoarding since the family's messy unraveling. The legal gloves are off, and what's happening inside that courtroom is nothing short of a reality TV bombshell, a public unraveling of a decades-long polygamist empire where loyalty was supposed to be law, but where Kody's favoritism and financial secrecy ultimately laid the foundation for war. The day the court filings went public, Sister Wives fans erupted on social media. For years, Janelle and Meri have hinted at being financially iced out by Kody, who, despite once preaching family unity and shared resources, appeared to consolidate wealth, property titles, and legal protections exclusively around Robyn. But now, the truth is being dragged into the light. According to insiders close to the legal proceedings, both Janelle and Meri are seeking formal division of assets, including retroactive compensation for years of personal investment into the family's communal property, especially Kody Pass, the land that was supposed to be their forever dream, but instead became a battlefield of broken promises. Let's rewind. Kody Pass was purchased during a time when the Browns were still portraying a united, if fragile, front. Kody convinced his wives to uproot their lives, abandon their individual homes, and pour money, some of which came from each of the wives' personal accounts, into a plot of land that would one day house 4 separate homes for the entire family. But those homes were never built. Instead, Kody Pass sat untouched, while the Brown family imploded, wife by wife. Christine left first. Then Janelle walked. Then Meri. Robyn, of course, stayed, and Kody, according to Meri and Janelle, quietly began restructuring ownership documents behind the scenes. The court documents reportedly show Kody's name as the primary stakeholder, with Robyn's name popping up on paperwork tied to adjacent property and shared business interests. Meanwhile, Janelle and Meri allege they were promised equity and title, but nothing was ever put in writing, something that Kody is now using as his legal shield. He claims that because the family operated under verbal agreements and trust, the property division isn't enforceable. But Meri and Janelle aren't backing down, and their lawyers are painting a vastly different picture. One of manipulation, spiritual coercion, and financial deception. In court, Janelle has reportedly delivered fiery testimony about how she poured thousands of dollars from her own business ventures into shared assets, believing that her spiritual marriage to Kody would be honored with legal protections. Her attorneys argue that Janelle was not just a wife. She was a financial partner, co-investor, and landowner. Her voice cracked in court, according to witnesses, when she recalled begging Kody to sign documents to protect her share of Kody Pass, only to be dismissed with vague promises that everything would be fair in the end. But now, fairness is coming in the form of subpoenas and depositions. Meri, meanwhile, has stunned observers with her emotional but sharp testimony. For years, Meri remained on the fringe of the Brown family, clinging to the hope of emotional reconnection. But after decades of being sidelined and ultimately abandoned by Kody, her tone has shifted from sorrow to righteous fury. She's finally confronting the man who, in her words, left her out in the cold while pretending she was still family. Meri's lawyer presented text messages, video clips from the show, and financial records suggesting that she invested heavily in the Browns' Las Vegas properties, only to see no return when they were sold. She claims she never received her fair portion of the profits, and that Kody and Robyn used those funds to purchase their lavish Flagstaff home, while Meri was left renting. The courtroom is said to be tense, emotional, and packed, with reporters from outlets across the country watching the downfall of one of reality TV's most polarizing patriarchs. And speaking of Kody, his behavior in court has only added fuel to the fire. Sources say he appeared visibly agitated, frequently whispering to his lawyers, and avoiding eye contact with either Meri or Janelle. His defense? That the women knew the risks of being in a plural marriage, that the family structure was always fluid, and that legally, they have no binding claims to the property unless a judge says otherwise. It's a technical defense, but one that's not likely to win hearts in a courtroom where decades of emotional and financial exploitation are being aired like dirty laundry. Robyn, for her part, has not been called to testify yet, but her name is all over the documents. Bank transfers, property titles, joint accounts, it's all coming to light. Fans have long speculated that Robyn was the financial favorite, and this court case is backing that up. One document submitted to the court reportedly shows a $300,000 payment made to Robyn's LLC, taken from the family account just months before the Browns declared they couldn't afford to start building on Coyote Pass. Where did the money go? That's what Janelle and Meri's legal team intends to find out. Social media is ablaze with reactions, with hashtags like #JusticeForJanelle and #MeriDeservesBetter trending across platforms. Fans are even calling for a Sister Wives courtroom spinoff, with some joking that this legal saga is more gripping than the entire last season. But behind the viral tweets and memes is a real story of two women reclaiming their worth, legally, emotionally, and financially. One particularly dramatic moment reportedly brought the courtroom to a standstill, when Meri stood and addressed Kody directly. "You promised us homes, you promised us protection. But the only home you built was with Robyn, and the only protection you cared about was your own pride," she said, as silence fell over the room. Kody didn't respond. He simply looked down at the table. As the trial moves forward, the stakes are monumental. If the court rules in Janelle and Meri's favor, it could trigger a massive redistribution of the Browns' assets, including property sales, forced buyouts, and audits into every financial transaction from the last 10 years. And if not, it could set a dangerous precedent for other spiritual wives in similar situations, proving that without legal marriage, years of sacrifice can vanish without a trace. But Janelle and Meri aren't backing down. They've been dismissed, overlooked, and gaslit for too long. Now, with the law on their side, they're demanding justice, and they're determined to get it. This isn't just about land. It's about legacy. It's about dignity. And for the first time in decades, it's about holding Kody Brown accountable in a court of law, not just in the court of public opinion. So buckle up, because this legal showdown is far from over. And if the early fireworks are any indication, Sister Wives is entering a new era, one where the women no longer whisper behind Kody's back. They fight. In court. With receipts. And this time, they're winning. The legal earthquake continues. Janelle and Meri unleash years of receipts, Kody forced to admit what really happened behind the scenes. As the courtroom drama deepens, so do the revelations, and it's quickly becoming clear that Janelle and Meri came prepared not only with emotion, but with evidence. Gone are the days when these women suffered in silence on camera, shrugging off Kody's excuses and gaslighting with a forced smile. In court, they are fierce, focused, and finally putting decades of receipts, emails, bank statements, and even production communications on full display. Every tear shed on national TV? It's now backed by hard proof that Kody Brown may have exploited their trust, not just emotionally, but financially. Court transcripts and leaks from insiders present a disturbing picture of just how far the control may have gone. According to Janelle's testimony, she was not only locked out of property title discussions, but she was also denied access to financial records regarding the sale of the Las Vegas homes and where the proceeds were funneled. "I was told the money was being held for Coyote Pass development," she said under oath. But that never happened. Instead, Robyn and Kody bought a $900,000 home, and we were told there wasn't enough left to build for the rest of us. Janelle's legal team then presented a trail of bank activity showing large transfers and unaccounted for withdrawals around the time of those transactions. One shocking discovery? a down payment on Robin's home that appeared to have come directly from a joint family fund, one that Meri and Janelle contributed to but were never reimbursed from. The implication? Kody used pooled resources to enrich one wife, while pushing the others toward financial independence that conveniently left them legally unentitled. Meri's side echoed the same strategy, but with a more painful twist. Her lawyer submitted messages between Meri and Kody dating back to 2017 where Meri explicitly asked if she should be involved in signing any documentation regarding Kody Pass. Kody allegedly responded, "Don't worry about it, we're a family. I've got it handled." That one sentence, written so casually, is now being used to illustrate Kody's pattern of paternalistic control, where the wives were encouraged to remain uninvolved, trusting that he would act in their best interest. But as Meri wept in court, she said, "Trusting Kody was the worst financial decision I ever made." But it's not just about who owns what. This courtroom battle has cracked open decades of emotional labor and spiritual sacrifice that Janelle and Meri are now quantifying. Janelle pointed out that she spent years living in an RV on the land while Robin and Kody enjoyed a comfortable house. She presented photos, social media posts, and testimony from her own children, proving how much she endured, all while still making monthly payments toward Kody Pass under the illusion that one day her home would be built. Meri, on the other hand, testified about her financial contributions to the family when she was still legally married to Kody and how her later ventures, including her bed and breakfast, were cited by Kody as her own thing, even though they originated from family funds and shared income during their legally binding marriage. Her lawyer asked the judge, "Why is it that the moment a wife gains financial independence, Kody calls it hers and claims she should no longer expect a return on previous investments?" The courtroom is now becoming a battleground for not just assets, but identity. Both women are making a case that their roles in the family were used as a shield for Kody to maintain control, collect income, and divide power unevenly. And that includes television revenue. In a bold move, Meri and Janelle's team are now calling into question the revenue split from Sister Wives itself. While it was once assumed that the show paid equally to the family unit, there are now whispers that production payments were funneled through business entities tied to Kody and Robin. That would mean unequal distributions, especially after Christine's exit and the increasing focus on Robin in later seasons. If Meri and Janelle can prove they were shorted on income for their televised appearances, it could set a massive legal precedent and open up the production company to further scrutiny. But the biggest moment yet came when Kody himself was forced to take the stand. Known for his bluster and bravado on television, Kody appeared unusually nervous, even defensive. When asked directly whether he made sure Meri and Janelle were listed on property deeds, his response stunned the courtroom. "They didn't ask. I assumed they weren't interested anymore." The courtroom reportedly fell silent. One of the attorneys then asked, "So, you assumed their silence meant they were forfeiting years of investment?" Kody stammered. "They weren't acting like wives. They were leaving the family emotionally long before they left physically." It was a stunning moment, one that revealed Kody's deep detachment and lack of remorse for how things had unfolded. His testimony may have undermined his entire case, proving to the judge and jury that his leadership wasn't just ineffective, it was indifferent. As the proceedings continue, the judge is reportedly considering a forensic audit of all Kody Pass-related transactions, dating back to 2018. If granted, it could unearth every dollar spent, every change of ownership, every informal deal, and expose whether or not Kody used his influence to quietly funnel the land away from the women who helped him build it. Meanwhile, Robin has been subpoenaed, with her court appearance expected later this month. Legal experts believe her testimony could either cement Kody's defense or blow it wide open, especially if it's proven that she was involved in discussions about keeping the property, just between them. Already, leaked texts between Robin and Kody from 2021 seem to suggest they were considering building only one big house for themselves, a plan that excluded the other wives altogether. Outside the courthouse, fans and even former polygamist insiders have shown up in support of Janelle and Meri. Signs reading, "We believe you," and "Property isn't just for Robin," have been spotted among the crowd. Former FLDS members have even weighed in, pointing out how this case highlights the dangerous financial gray zones that often accompany spiritual marriages without legal contracts. It's bigger than one family. It's now become a cultural flashpoint for women who gave their lives to a structure that promised sisterhood, only to be left with broken dreams and zero protections. And Meri and Janelle? They're not just fighting for themselves anymore. They're fighting for every woman who's been told that sacrifice is love, that silence is strength, and that trust is enough. This courtroom battle is justice in motion, and as the walls close in on Kody Brown, one truth has never been clearer. They're done being spiritual wives. They're finally fighting like women who know they were robbed, and they've got the receipts to prove it.